So I'm Patrick with Anatomi Corp, and we are accelerating drug development for neurological conditions. And that's a pretty noble cause. About 1 in 7 people suffer from a neurological condition. It destroys about $2.7 trillion worth of value every year. If you want to create a new drug, it costs about $4 billion, and you're going to spend about 95% of your time failing. And the solution to this is screening actual human neurons. It's more predictive. It actually tells you what a human would respond to in a drug context. And if we're talking about chronic pain specifically, what we're trying to do here right now is develop more effective painkillers. And that's a really important issue right now, especially with the opioid crisis. Painkillers are very effective, but unfortunately also very addictive. So there's a lot of money floating around to create non-addictive, more effective, fewer side effect painkillers. And what we do is we actually manufacture these human neurons, and we do it the best way possible. We have a 7-day process that allows us to manufacture these neurons. This is 5 times better than anyone else in the world can do right now, based on core intellectual property that we developed at the University of Minnesota. It's just a lot more efficient to do it this way. And this is a business because we have sales. We just launched our first product a couple months ago, so it's only a couple $1,000s. But we have 6 deals pending that in the new year would net us about $400,000, about $50,000 per deal. That's essentially all we have. So me and Vince have been at this for only 7 or 8 months, but we made a lot of progress in this time. Did a lot of technical de-risking, did a lot of execution de-risking, as well as market de-risking. So I think we're on the right track. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit, Patrick, about how you know your cells are good surrogates for actual neuronal cells.
Yeah, so there's a lot of readouts that you can use. Essentially, you look for neuronal function, which is really the electrophysiological profile of these neurons and how they respond to different treatments. Our current product for chronic pain, essentially, you can use analgesics. So you add this into the culture media and you watch the mean firing rate, it's called, reduce, or you can add in something like spice or capsaicin, and you can watch the mean firing rate increase, which says that these are actually functional to things that people respond to.
Maybe I missed it, but who do you sell to? A little bit around your business model?
Yeah, so right now we're targeting mostly contract research organizations. They consolidate a lot of business, so getting one of these bigger customers really it's a huge chunk of cash. And one pharma company has actually found us through our website somehow. We don't really market too much, but getting directly into pharma is even better than going through the contract research organizations. There is an academic arm where you try to contact individual researchers. That's a little more difficult. You need a big sales force for that. We're still trying to do that a little bit here and there, but to tackle that market, we're more looking at an out-licensing opportunity with a stem cell research company who has a giant sales force. So if we out-license that part of the technology while maintaining our CRO business, that's kind of the direction we're looking at right now, if the deal's good enough with this company.
You stated that you currently have sales. What's the regulatory pathway that you've had to take in order to get this to the market?
Not too much. This is research use only, except for when we sublicense to for-profit to do commercial activities. And essentially, yeah, it's just a research product, but there is an element of this technology where you're manufacturing neurons and people are actually implanting these actual neurons into patients as a cellular therapeutic, in which case you'd have to go through the FDA approval pathway. There are comparables out there right now.
And is that your exit strategy, is to go through that FDA regulatory pathway?
Yeah, what we'd like to do is sort of do this research tool space long enough that we could exit from that, spin that off as a research tools only company, and that might be able to fund our clinical aspirations. In which case, if we were to get that going, there has been a recent exit or two worth about $1 billion.